Hello Magic lovers, welcome to the Holy Grail A.C.A.N tutorial. Before we begin, I am going to go ahead and roll back and go through the performance, so let the performance begin. Let's go ahead and get started. First of all, you know you're going to have to shuffle the deck before we do anything else. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's give it two shuffles, right? Back to back. Why not? Okay, and let's give it a couple of cuts, just like so. Now, I'm going to riffle through the cards, and I'm going to stop at a random card. And if you were here as a spectator, you would tell me when to stop. So, say you say stop there. Take a look at your card. I'm going to place it right back into the middle of the deck. And at this point, I could do anything. Let's say a couple of cuts, like so. Let's go ahead and give it another shuffle. And another shuffle, why not? And some more cuts. And another shuffle, why not? Just make sure everything is mixed up nicely, okay? So at this point, I would tell the spectator, I need you to think of a number between 1 and 52 and tell me. Without me doing anything else in the deck. Completely free choice. Since I don't have anyone here. Hey Google, to give me a number between 1 and 52.
22.
22. Excellent. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to count off 22 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Now, we ended up landing at this card. We could have landed at any card. You could have landed at the 6 of clubs. You could have landed at the 8 of hearts. And I don't know what card you chose. I'm gonna have to actually watch back the video and see. Let's see. If this was your card, that'd be quite amazing. And this isn't any card at any number, and it's quite wonderful. All right, so for those of you who have been asking for a tutorial, I have heard you, and well, this person, that person. So many people have asked me for the tutorial, and I said I would teach it. Let me preface by saying, once I tell you what's going on here in this any card at any number effect, don't run away. Because some of you will roll your eyes and like, oh, that's what he did. But it's not about that. It's a great effect. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you it was a Svengali deck. Yeah, that's right. I pulled most of you with a Svengali deck. And I took David Blaine's class in his studio class, and one of the things we were talking about was a deck stab effect and how strong the Svengali effect is and how strong and any card at any number effect that can be done with the Svengali deck. So let's go ahead and get into it, and let me tell you what I did to fool you guys. So one of the things that you can do with a Svengali deck, let's go ahead and take out that cover card there. Right? So look, one of the things that you can do with a Svengali deck, just kind of subtly, is just taking the cards and dribbling them out like this, kind of showing all the cards, but not necessarily doing this overtly. You're just kind of going through the cards like this. And you probably noticed earlier when I actually showed the performance, I shuffled the cards, okay? There is a way to shuffle a Svengali deck. A lot of people don't realize this, but if you do a riffle shuffle with a Svengali deck, you can keep the cards in perfect working order. Now, how do you do that? Well, if you can look closely here, you can actually see for those of you who don't know, a Svengali deck works because you have every other card is going to be a force card, right? Which our force card in this particular case is the 8 of diamonds. And the force card are actually short cards. So I'm actually gonna get a close-up shot of this now. Okay, so if you take a look at these cards, you'll see that there are some of the force cards or all of the force cards. If you take a look at these cards, all of the force cards are short cards. So what that means is, as I'm dribbling through, it's always gonna stop on the force card, no matter what. No matter where you stop. If you stop high, it's gonna be a force card. If you stop low, it's gonna be a force card. And one of the things that you can do with the Svengali deck, if you just tap the deck down like this, right? What I'm doing is allowing those longer cards to then be presented up in the deck. What this is going to allow me to do is to take about half, right, and shuffle them. And you can actually, like I was telling you earlier, you should riffle shuffle a Svengali deck with great effect and make it look great. And you can even take the deck and cut it a bunch of times like so. And that did absolutely nothing. It did not affect the deck at all. See, look, no matter what, we're gonna stop at that force card. So now that we've gone over how this works, how the Svengali deck works, and how you're able to shuffle the cards, let's go over how we're gonna shuffle these cards. I'm gonna get some great slow motion shots up in here, detailing exactly what's going on here. So when you riffle shuffle these cards, it doesn't have to be a perfect riffle shuffle, but what you're just wanting to do is just shuffle them, mostly for the visual and the sound, right? Because that didn't change anything in the deck. They're still not yes, not yes, not yes, not yes, not yes, all the way through, right? Now, occasionally you're gonna get the situation where you have double cards. So let's see if I can find one. I thought I saw one there earlier. And this is perfectly fine because every other card is still gonna be in that situation. Okay, here we go. Here we've got 2 8 of diamonds back to back, and that's still perfectly fine because during the effect, as you're still counting down the cards, let's say someone says, for example, someone says 23, right? I'm gonna count down 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23, right? So in the preview of the effect, it was actually pretty much the worst case scenario. And the reason I say that is because we ended up on an even number. So when you do that, your spectator does not know what you're doing. So you have to always remember that and try to get out of that magician brain. Your spectator doesn't know what you're gonna do. So what I did in the performance that I gave earlier is I said, okay, I'm gonna count down, we're gonna count down 22 cards. So what I did is I counted down 22 cards, and then I pointed to say if this is your card, it would be amazing, and I placed it there to the middle. So you're gonna know if you get an odd number, because it's 1 3, right? Every other card. So the second card is not gonna be it. The third card will be it. The fourth card is not gonna be it. The fifth card will be it. So if you get an odd number, you're golden, you're ready to go. The worst case scenario was actually in the performance. So if you get an odd number, which is pretty often people pick odd numbers, And if you get an even number, it doesn't matter because you're just going to count down the even number. Say, okay, we're going to put that many cards aside here. I'm going to count that many cards aside here. And then you just point to the next card. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some of those close-up shots here so you can see what I was talking about. Okay, so here you can see the long cards versus the short cards and the separation they create in the Svengali deck. Also, you can see as we riffle through the cards here, you're able to see every individual card that is not your force card. Okay, so as we riffle through, you'll see everything here. So it's basically skipping over those force cards that are the short cards. All right. Now, if you go in the opposite direction, you'll see nothing but the force cards because we're literally skipping over every other card but the force cards. Okay, so I also wanted to throw in a nice slow motion shot so you can see how the cards are skipped over during a dribble. And I also wanted you to see how the cards looked in slow motion when doing a riffle shuffle. It feels a little bit knacky at first, a little bit chunky, but it's very similar to a normal riffle shuffle. And as you can see, none of the force cards can be seen. They basically skip over every single force card. Okay, so I think now would be a good time to walk you through an actual performance. Okay, so like I said, before you begin, it's a good idea just to kind of go through the cards, right? And let's say, give them a couple of cuts. Just kind of as you're talking here, I like to have personally a black card on the bottom if your force card's a red card, just to kind of enforce that all the cards are different. Also, as you just are talking to your spectator, it's good to just dribble the cards like so. And also towards the end of the trick, this could be a closer, or you can do a deck swap. Simply put it in your pocket, or if you're wearing a jacket, put it in your jacket pocket. Perform a coin trick or something else, rubber bands, whatever, and then go back to the cards. And nobody will be the wiser, I promise you. So let's go ahead and go through this performance now. Just casually go through the cards, showing they're all different, but not bringing any attention to your cards being all different. It's really unnecessary. Obviously, they're all different. It's a deck of cards, right? So as you're making conversation, you say, I'd like to show you something. But first, let's go ahead and give the deck a shuffle. So then you go ahead and give the deck a shuffle just as we discussed earlier. Remembering that it's not actually going to change anything. And remember to just shuffle the cards naturally as you would give them a natural riffle shuffle like anything else. Give those cards a couple of cuts and tell them, I'm gonna go ahead and go through the cards just like so. And whenever you like to, just say stop. Once again, flashing the cards showing that they're all different. Okay, and that's just a slight upward dribble, right? So just say stop here. You're gonna stop at that force card. You then dribble everything else on top and go ahead and say, one of the things you can do so there's no breaks, just kind of give it another couple of dribbles like this and say, you know what? I'm gonna give this cards a couple of cuts and we'll go ahead and give them a shuffle. Now I over shuffled it specifically in the video on just so it's more convincing to the magicians out there, right? But just give it a couple of shuffles and then a couple of cuts and leave them there on the table, right? Everything's done. Now you ask your spectator for the number. It could be any number. Remember, we specifically want an odd number. So if they say an odd number, great, awesome. But if they don't, suggest, would you like to change your mind? Just for the off chance that they might say an odd number and you get option A instead of option B like in the performance. But I just went ahead and go with it. Why not? So let's say if their option, let's go with the same number. Option B is 22, right? So let's say you get 22. You're just going to count out 22 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22. Now, you could have said any number and we would have landed at a different card. And you just place that card over to the side. Let me get a slightly better downward view. Okay. So the 22 cards are here. Force card is here. You say at this point you say 22. Now, had you said any other number, we would have arrived at a different card. But let's go ahead and continue. Let's say it's 23, right? Let's say they chose 23. You're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Now, you take that 23rd card and you place it out. And I neglected to mention this earlier, but once you're in this position, you have the chosen card placed out, which you can tell quite easily that it is a force card because up here is going to be a lot shorter, the border, and down here is going to be a lot larger. So you'll know it's one of those short cards. Nobody else is going to notice this. Your spectator sure won't. But then you want to make a note that had you said 22, you would have landed at the 9 of hearts. Had you said 24, you would have landed at the 9 of clubs. And you landed at the 8 of diamonds. So, let's just go ahead and reset everything again just by doing that. And now we're all set to go. Check that out. You want to shoot for an odd number card. But if you don't shoot for an odd number card and they say an even number card, it's not a problem whatsoever. As you saw in the performance, there is no issue with it whatsoever. Okay? And don't be afraid to shuffle this deck of cards. Do not be afraid to shuffle it. Like I said, there is an off occasion, even as I showed you there earlier, you might get one card out of place, like right next to each other. Let's see if I can find another one in here now. Let's say if you got 2 force cards that are right next to each other, you're not going to hurt anything as you're counting through there. Yeah, look, perfect. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure I was clear enough on the reset. So I wanted to give you a close-up view here. We've got our Svengali deck. And let's say, let's go with something easy. Let's say 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 here. Okay. So of course we know this is going to be the force card, right? This here, they could have landed at a 7 or they could have landed at a queen, right? So this is the reset. Take the force card, short card, put it on top of the pile you just counted. Take everything, pile on top of that, and now you're gonna have your force card here on the bottom. Okay, so as soon as you're done with that, just give it one shuffle, that one single card to the top, and now you are completely reset. Ready to go. Yeah, don't be afraid to shuffle this deck. Riffle shuffle, it won't take but a little bit of practice. Once you tap them down on the table here, you can very clearly see, and I'll show you, or I probably have already shown a close up here. You can see the difference between the short card and the long card. And when you riffle shuffle these cards, once you get used to it, you can riffle shuffle them no problem. And you won't have any issues whatsoever. And remember, you can cut this deck multiple times. It's not like you're doing a stack or anything like that. You can cut this a centrifugal stack. You can cut this multiple times. You don't have to just sit there and do like this. Okay, don't do that. Don't sit here and do like this. Cut it multiple times. You're not gonna mess up the order, I promise you. Cut it a couple, 3, maybe 4 times, and you're not gonna mess up anything. Check this out. Look, everything is back in order. Everything is good. And even if it's not, Like I said, if you have one, maybe two cards out of order, it looks like everything's still in perfect condition here. But even if you have one or two cards out of order, it's not going to affect your any card at any number effect. Yes. So, yeah. Svengali deck. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something new, or even if you knew this already, maybe you learned a couple little subtleties that made it different and unique. Don't be afraid of this deck. There's a lot of stuff out there that I feel you're like, maybe that's too much of a beginner thing. Don't think like that. That is how magician brain hurts you. Think like the spectator. What's going to fool the spectator? I mean, I'm pretty sure I fooled a couple magicians with it. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please like, comment, subscribe. You know the rest. I'm going to try to get more content out to you. I have been slacking lately. I apologize for that. Till I see you in the next one.
Magic lovers, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.